Good evening. I now call to order the May 13th, 2024 meeting of the East Bend School District Board of School Directors. We now all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce our two SGA representatives, Ms. Jelena Patel and Ms. Elizabeth Samer. It's with a little bit of sadness that I introduce them, that this is their last meeting of the school year for presenting their report. And so without further ado, Ms. Samer and Ms. Patel.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Our spring sports are finishing off the year strong. Both the boys and girls track and field teams placed second for the regular season. Last week, they competed at the EPC League meet with 4 first-place medals and 16 top 4 finishers. They have their district championship meets tomorrow and Wednesday at Blue Mountain High School. The boys' baseball team had their first round of EPCs today at home against Becca. Recently, 2 of their athletes made the All-EPC first team, and 3 made the All-EPC second team. The girls' softball team also had their first round of EPCs today against Pleasant Valley. They won their last regular season game last Monday with a 3-2 score against Whitehall. 3 athletes made it onto the EPC All-Star teams. The boys' volleyball team unfortunately lost in the semifinal EPC round to Whitehall, but they will be starting district quarterfinals next week. Also, 2 of their players were named EPC Volleyball All-Stars. Both of our lacrosse teams made it to the final round of EPCs. The girls' lacrosse team beat Easton in the semifinal round and will be up against Pleasant Valley for the EPC championships. 4 of their athletes were named EPC All-Stars, 2 on the first team and 2 on the second team. The boys' lacrosse team also won the EPC semifinal round with a score of 9-7 over Central Catholic. They will be up against Easton in the championships tomorrow. 4 of their athletes made the All-EPC first team, and 1 made the second team.
Thank you. Lastly, some news from our clubs as they wrap up for the year. The EHS Pals Club partnered with Emmaus High School students in the Lehigh Valley Special Olympics event this past Friday. The event was an amazing success, full of teamwork, sportsmanship, and fun. The Pediatric Cancer Club, along with many student and teacher volunteers, helped bring the Emmaus High School Shave for the Brave event become a huge success. They raised $81,000 for kids' cancer research. Members of the Habitat for Humanity Club volunteered their time at the Restore in the South Mall. The Internet Club had their annual campus cleanup where members picked up litter around the school. 10 members of the Emmaus History Day Club competed at the Pennsylvania History Day competition in late April. They did a fantastic job. Chorale recently took a trip to Boston where they performed at the Heritage Festival and earned a gold award. They also did singing clinics at the University of Connecticut and Boston University. The choir department also had their spring concert on Thursday. All the chorale groups, concert choir, Bella Voce, chorale, a cappella, and From Out of Nowhere, sang many pieces that they have been working on for their final performance of the year. The Emmaus High School Concert Band, Jazz Band, Brass Band, and Percussion Band also had a successful end-of-the-year performance, and the Emmaus Orchestra with the Symphonia and Chamber had incredible performances to showcase all of their hard work over the past year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments from the board? I think we have some words from our administration.
I just wanted to echo Dr. Levinson's recognition of both of you at the start of the meeting. It seems like literally just not long ago at all that we met for the first time and we welcomed you on as the SGA student representatives. And you have certainly been a tremendous asset to our student body, to Emmaus High School, I think to our school community as well. And so, Elizabeth, we wish you well as you attend Thomas Jefferson in the fall to study exercise science with an eventual goal of becoming a doctor of physical therapy. Certainly, your strong background in athletics will serve you well in that. And Jolena, we know that you're pursuing a career in engineering and still deciding between Duke and University of Pennsylvania. And so we're going to continue to watch carefully to see where you continue your studies. Again, it's been fantastic getting to know you on a different level as we've worked with you as representatives to our school board. We wish you continued success and really hope that you'll keep us. We're going to watch carefully so that we can see how you continue to excel in the future. And I have just a small token of appreciation for each of you from our board and myself and know that you're probably going to head out because I think you have exams coming up. So. Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay, well, as is tradition, I'll invite you to stay if you so choose. Well, you can tell Jelena that I look forward to both of you walking across the stage in 27 days.
This opportunity. It's
Thank
been
you.
great to be able to do this. It's been a really awesome time.
Okay, and thank you again.
Yes.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, I just want to make just one introductory statement on this. In light of the passage of Policy 903 at the last meeting, we're making some adjustments as to how we describe and manage public comment. We are no longer calling this request to address the board. We're calling this request to comment at a board meeting. And in light of some of the changes to the policy, I also have a change to my opening statement. So there are 7 people who would like to comment tonight. But before I introduce each speaker, I had the following statement to read. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with public comment, speakers should feel free to express their opinion, comment, or question, and understand that this is not an interactive engagement with the board or with the administration. Please direct your correspondence to the chair. Be respectful, not engage in profane rhetoric, not disclose confidential personal information regarding staff or students, or comment on matters in violation of the law or board policy. And be mindful that others, including students, may be listening. I would request that you consider that protocol when making your comments. For the members of the audience, please also be respectful and refrain from speaking during the public comment period. With that, I will now announce each speaker and their topic. When you step up to the podium, again, please state your name, and you will have 3 minutes within which to speak, and I will provide a 30-second warning for when your time is up. Okay, our first speaker tonight is Lisa McDonald, here to talk tonight about the importance of having an IA for students.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Lisa McDonald. I am an instructional assistant. I am actually a former student in Emmaus High School. I graduated in 2014. I just like to talk about a little bit about instructional assistants and how it benefits the students. I myself struggle in learning, and I found that instructional assistants really help me gain confidence in my learning and help me become a better student. I do believe that instructional assistants can benefit the students by building their self-esteem, by helping them learn how to study, give them extra help, and just make sure they're like on task. It's hard to sit for a while in class, and some students have a hard time sitting and focusing, so it really benefits them to have someone side by side. Along with working here, I'm also a life coach, so I do provide services such as time management skills, coping skills, and self-discovery skills, and I do believe that when it comes to learning, students need to learn how to work with coping difficulties such as stress and also managing their time, managing their schedule. So I would love to provide those type of skills for that one-on-one students to help benefit their learning and their different assignments. So that's basically all I want to say. And yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Our next commenter is, and I apologize if I misread this, Nicole Maranta? Oh, okay, Maranke, there we go. Yeah, here to talk tonight about full-time hours for IAs.
Hello, my name is Nikki Maranke. You can call me Nikki. You just said Nicole. I'm a IA here at Emmaus High School, and I love my job. I love working with the kids. And what can benefit our jobs more is if we can work full-time instead of part-time. It's kind of hard for the kids and hard for the teachers as well. Like when we're leaving like at 1:33 and the teachers are totally without an IA for assistance, and it makes it hard for them as well. And it's hard for a lot of us IAs financially, really is. We really would appreciate full-time hours here greatly. We really would. And it would make life easier for the teachers as well as the students. That's about all I can.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comment. Our next commenter is Carrie Crawford on budget priorities.
Good evening. My name is Carrie Crawford, and I am the president of the East Penn Education Support Professionals. My purpose for attending tonight's meeting is to bring attention to the need for more full-time positions for our support staff. As you know, one of the district's budget priorities for the next school year is to transition 6 instructional assistants from part-time to full-time, as well as 3 new instructional assistant positions. While I know public comment isn't an open dialogue, I would like to ask whether the 3 new positions are going to be part-time or full-time, as this is a question I'm being asked. During budget discussions, it's been stated that these positions will be placed based on the most significant needs of the students. If you look at the number of autistic and emotional support classrooms across the district, 6 to 9 positions isn't even enough to add 1 IA per classroom, never mind the need in learning support and regular education classrooms, where the percentage of integrated students continues to grow, leaving teachers with 20 to 30 students of varying learning abilities to manage by themselves because support staff schedules don't encompass the full school day. There were some other positions included in the budget priorities for next year that were given an opportunity to come and address the board to explain in detail what their job entails and how many students their jobs have reached. The instructional assistants didn't have that opportunity, so I hope hearing some of their stories tonight will help solidify the need to expand the number of positions to more than 6. Please don't misunderstand. As a bargaining unit, we are thrilled that the district proposed the transition of these positions from part-time to full-time, as this is something we've asked the district consider multiple times and also included in our last contract. In looking at the cost associated with some of the other budget priorities, the cost to transition IAs from part-time to full-time is minimal for the overall benefit that students will receive. Having an ongoing and continuous support from the beginning of the day to the end of the day has the potential to help improve test scores, performance, and overall behavior. I just want to read a tidbit of an email that I received from a teacher regarding one of our IAs. It says, hold on a second here. Of course, my phone won't cooperate. It says, on any given day in the classroom, this IA would check in with multiple students during lessons, provide read-aloud accommodations,
30 seconds.
help distribute activity and lab supplies, and help manage behavioral issues. Our class always functions smoothly due to her organization, attention to detail, and ability to problem solve. She effortlessly handled last-minute scheduling changes and unexpected challenges that arose with flexibility and a positive outlook. Her interactions with students were professional, but also attentive, kind-hearted, and discreet when necessary. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Our next commenter is Tammy Hughes, an instructional assistant.
Hello, my name is Tammy Hughes, and I have been an emotional support instructional assistant for 29 years in the district. I am here at Emmaus High School. When I started here at the high school, we had 2 emotional support teachers, each one having a caseload of approximately 8 to 10 students. Each of those teachers had 2 full-time IAs, working 32 to 32 and a half hours. We currently have 3 full-time teachers, 1 part-time emotional support teacher. Caseloads sometimes run upwards of 20 students, and they each have 1 part-time IA. This year, we've been keeping a spreadsheet of visits to the emotional support classroom for emotional support. We have had over 3,000 visits already this year, and we're getting between 20 and 30 every day. These students are struggling. They can't go to their classes for a variety of reasons, and there are times when we cannot meet their needs because we do not have enough people. We have to monitor a quiet lunch for all 4 lunches because we have students who cannot go to the cafeteria due to anxiety or different reasons. That sometimes means, even though it is in our contract that we get a student-free lunch, we do not get lunches some days. We are frequently given students who need to be escorted everywhere. We're down to a few less, so it's easier, but there are days when we cannot find enough coverage to escort these students where they need to go. Even though we are already shorthanded during first block and fourth block of every day, we are now being pulled to cover in autistic support because they are also so shorthanded. That leaves emotional support with even less people. Certain days, first block in the morning, there are no emotional support IAs because we're pulled to other areas. This has pulled me back from attending classes with some of our emotional support students who should have an IA with them in class. I know it's been said that we are fully staffed for our IAs, but tonight at this meeting, we're filling a vacancy that has been open since November. So that's just an example of where we're shorthanded. That is an autistic support position. Everyone at the high school and throughout the district, administrators, teachers, and support staff are drowning right now. And while we do really appreciate the 6 people who may be getting pulled up to full-time next year, it feels like we're throwing 6 life preservers to a few hundred people trying to stay afloat. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for your comment. Our next commenter is Melody Arndt to talk about IA issues.
My name is Melody Arndt. I have been an employee of East Penn School District for 17 years as an IA. I am presently at Emmaus High School. I support students in classes like Skills for Living, Creative Foods, Health, and Driver's Ed. These classes are different times of the day. A big challenge that I face is being in these classes 4th block, the last part of the day, and my hours end at 1:33 p.m. I feel it is not fair to the students as well as to me because I miss half of the class that is being presented. I'm in the dark of what is being presented and assigned. How can I help these students? They rely on me for help. This is why we should have more hours. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comment. Our next commenter is Christina Schwer on the importance of IAs.
Good evening, Christina Schwer, instructional assistant at Emmaus High School, going on, this is the end of my 10th year, second year as an instructional assistant. Last time I was here, I talked about the importance for students and how they would benefit for IAs being full-time. But I'd like today to talk about East Penn as an employer, because ultimately you are an employer also, besides meeting student needs. I have lived in Allentown my whole life. I had one daughter that went through the Allentown School District and one daughter that went through Catholic school. And what I have seen in Allentown is that as my daughter, who now just graduated Kutztown 2 days ago, is I saw Allentown School District scores go down. And as they went down, Allentown hired more and more experts, specialists. I remember going to board meetings where they would get a $600,000 grant to provide reading aids. And I was thinking, this is going to be great. This is going to get a lot of people into the district. And they would hire 4 people with that grant. And it just seemed like such a colossal waste. They could hire 12 people at $25,000 to help with all the students. So looking at Allentown and looking at Emmaus, I can tell you at the trajectory that Emmaus is going on, the difference between Allentown and Emmaus is 20 years. And I'm not exaggerating. Like the scores go down, but the help isn't made. So tonight before the meeting, I looked at the Allentown School District job openings. And right now they have 73 teachers and 58 paraprofessional openings. And why is this? It's because they're not taking care of their teachers. They're not taking care of their instructional assistants. People don't want to go because it's not high pay. Granted, the one thing they have that we don't have is benefits. I'd also like to say if East Penn was a boyfriend, I would dump that boyfriend because I see the 6 positions dangled in front of people. I see the 6 positions making hopeful. Will he choose me? I don't know. Will he be my boyfriend? I don't know.
30 seconds.
Will I get a job? I don't know. I've asked how the positions will be picked. No one has been able to answer me. I've asked when will the positions be picked? Because people who are looking for full-time work don't want to have to wait till the end of the summer to see if they're one of the golden ticket winners. 6 out of 155 undervalues 149 people. How do you choose which people? Somebody said to me that today, an IA said to me,
Your time's up.
can I have 30 seconds?
I'll give you 10 seconds.
Perfect. They said to me that IAs are basically discount educators. We are educating the students at a discount bargain price for Emmaus High School. And I'd like you to think about that and realize our worth. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Our last commenter tonight is Stavros Marangos to talk about music department budget.
Hello again, school board. For those of you who may not recognize me or remember me, my name is Stavros Marangos, and I'm an 11th grade student at EHS and a drum major for our marching band. I was here at the last meeting to talk about the Middle School Jazz Festival and the EPIMC. Since then, as you know, we have since performed our spring band concert, which went smoothly. Mr. Harrington's final remarks that night were about thankfulness, both to the EPIMC for all they have done to help fund the band, and thankfulness for the ability to have a space for music in our district. I would like to echo these thanks once again, and I'm grateful to be a part of a district that already has the level of support we have. As you may be aware, the EPIMC works tirelessly all year round to help raise money to support the marching band, doing everything from running a concession stand to all home football games to selling treats at our band concerts. They do a great job, and I will always be grateful for what they do. The marching band has a few basic needs: transportation costs to get to and from games, the cost that comes with competitions, and the cost of field music. The one I would like to bring to your attention is the cost of transportation. It is my understanding that a lot of the money raised by EPIMC gets spread thinly across the costs that come with marching band and symphonic band, as well as other music programs. Much of it goes towards funding marching band transportation to and from events. Transportation costs across all industries have been on the rise. If you've tried to fill up a car in the last 12 months, you know that gas costs are going through the roof. I know you all have countless people coming in asking for money, but I'm not here asking without reason. The marching band needs your help. We enhance the image of the district and its music programs when we participate in community events like football games, basketball games, and competitions. These events are a fun way for students to take part in the community and reap the benefits of having music in their lives. It is essential that we have a reliable means of safely transporting ourselves and our instruments to these events. This past year, I've been made aware of how little leeway we have when it comes to meeting these costs. I'm not here to point a finger at the school board and claim that we've been neglected, because I simply do not think that's the case. I'm here to say that the costs are rising. The budget we've had simply does not meet these costs. We want to be able to participate in the activities we have traditionally taken part in and play our part in helping make the East Penn School District so great. I ask that the school board consider incorporating transportation costs for the marching band into the music department budget. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. All right, that concludes our request for comment. Moving on through the agenda, we have the approval of minutes. I have a motion to approve the minutes from the April 22nd meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Ms. Bowman?
Aye.
Mr. Falegi?
Aye.
Ms. Ford?
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Klotz?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Dr. Whitney?
Aye.
Dr. Levinson?
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Next is the district update. Dr. Campbell.
Yes, thank you. As our SGA reps pointed out, there are a lot of exciting things happening this spring in the East Penn School District. I want to first recognize the outstanding work of the Emmaus High School History Day Club. The last week in April, we had several students who participated in the state competition, including Nathan Johnson, Reed Hoffman, Michaela Sames, John Anthony, Lily Hoffman, Brighton Yu, Gavin Germain, Ayan Shaw, William Zhang, and Colby Zhang. In particular, that last group that I just mentioned, Brighton, Gavin, Ayan, William, and Colby, they placed third place in the senior division group website category for their piece of work. So congratulations to them. On May 1st, we celebrated 46 Emmaus High School student athletes. Those are graduating seniors who are planning to continue their athletic and academic careers at the collegiate level. And so I encourage you to check out, if you've not already seen it, we've posted all 46 of our student athletes, as well as the college, university that they're attending to continue their work. We're also very proud of both of our middle schools. They each have a team that participated in the CLIU Reading Olympics that was held just last week. In particular, the LMMS Reading Roots team won first place at that competition. So again, great job to both of our middle schools. We'd also like to recognize the Emmaus High School Chorale for their gold level performance at the Heritage Festival, which is a national music festival for high school students, which was recently held in Boston. And in case you haven't seen it, congratulations to Emmaus High School Theater Department. They earned 14 Freddie nominations for Cinderella, and so we'll all be watching intently on May 23rd when the Freddies air. I also wanted to recognize and thank the work of several really teams of community members who recently sponsored 2 amazing events. First, our guidance counselors in the district who recently sponsored the Emmaus High School College Fair. That also was held the last week in April. We had over 100 colleges, universities, armed forces represented there, in which they came and met with really high school students, anyone from our community who was interested in learning more in terms of what that next step after graduation might look like. So we certainly appreciate the outstanding work of our counseling department in organizing that great event for our community. I also wanted to recognize several individuals, and again, it's really a team of people who helped to organize Shave for the Brave that we recently hosted at Emmaus High School. In particular, Shannon Petrunak, I'm going to say was the leader of that group, but one of her co-leaders was Amy Kaunitz, both teachers at Emmaus High School. And again, we had 117 shavees, and as a community, we raised almost $87,000. And so it really is an army of people who came together to support pediatric cancer. And we're proud to say that over the 8 events that we've held in the East Penn School District for Shave for the Brave, we've raised over $600,000 to support pediatric cancer. So again, a special thanks to Shannon Petrunak, Amy Kaunitz, and just a community of supporters who helped to make that event happen. We do have some upcoming events as well that I want to remind our community about. You're probably sick of me talking about kindergarten registration, but we can't emphasize it enough. If you have a student who will be 5 by September 1st of the upcoming year, please, please, please register your child for kindergarten. It's really important for us that we know who is coming so that we can appropriately transition and welcome our newest members of our East Penn family to kindergarten, and also so that we can plan in terms of who our kindergarten teachers and how many teachers exactly we will need in those positions. If you need any help, we do have an online registration process. You simply also have to reach out either to our central registration here at the district office or any of our buildings, and we can help you work through that process. I also remind our community that we have nominations for our final Pride Award winners for this particular school year. And so through our district website, you can nominate a deserving employee of the district or a volunteer in the district as one of our potential Pride winners. We also have a community resource fair that is actually, it was held this evening, and so in case you haven't gotten out there yet, you might have a couple minutes to stop over to Lower Macungie Middle School, where we have many organizations across the Lehigh Valley who are out to help share how they can connect with families and what resources they offer our families. Next Tuesday, May 21st, from 6 to 8 at Lower Macungie Middle School, the district, as in collaboration with communities and schools, is hosting a mental health symposium. The district recently put out some communication in terms of the sessions and the topics that will be covered at that mental health symposium. And finally, we just want to point out that we have a correction to our printed activity calendar. So Friday, May 24th is a half day for students. So Emmaus High School and middle school students on May 24th will be dismissed at 11, and elementary students will be dismissed at 12:30. So again, we certainly know that we do a whole lot of communication electronically, but in case we have any family members who are relying on that printed calendar, please note that there is a change, and we'll continue to communicate that as well. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Campbell. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Ms. Ford?
I just had one comment. I just wanted to say that I thoroughly enjoyed the college career fair. Well attended. I mean, I was so impressed by many of the colleges that were there. There were representation from NYU and so many other schools locally and abroad, and it was well put together. So please extend huge kudos to the guidance department, also for making me feel very welcome. They did a wonderful job with the layout and spread and making it very comfortable for the attendees as well.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Any further comments? Ms. Bowman?
I'm not sure if this is the appropriate space for this or if maybe I should hold it, but I'm always impressed when we have students come to speak to the board. They've never failed to be eloquent and to also help to describe pain points that we as board members may not know about. That said, I do feel like maybe this, the one issue that was raised is not something that the board usually digs into at this level. And I'm wondering if the administration could potentially meet with the student who came tonight and whatever appropriate other stakeholders, whether that would be the band director or whatever, I don't know, to talk about what's going on with what are they not able to do, and see if at the building level, if maybe that issue can be solved over time.
We can have the high school principal follow up, absolutely.
Okay, thank you for that. Any additional comments? All right, well, thank you for your report. Next item on the agenda is a budget update for the 24-25 school year. Dr. Campbell, would you like to introduce?
Yes, in particular, we do not have a presentation to go through as we have in typical meetings. We reserve this particular meeting, recognizing that the budget is a continually developing process. And so this evening, Mr. Saul is going to talk us through some of the adjustments that have been made internally and where those adjustments have been made in the budget. And if you think about where we are in terms of a timeline, we're rapidly approaching our June meeting, at which time the board will vote on the final budget. And so that's the process to which we're working. So at this point, I'm going to turn things over to Mr. Saul, who's going to give us an update in terms of the revisions since the last meeting.
Great, thank you very much. As Dr. Campbell said, I just have a very brief verbal update regarding the budget this evening. As we continue to evaluate and revise the budget, there have been a number of updates in the areas, excuse me, of wages, insurances, and other fringe benefits that have allowed us to lower the tax rate increase from the 5% that was approved in the proposed final budget to a rate currently of 4.2%. As we finalize the budget for the board's consideration of approval at the June 10th board meeting, obviously we'll continue to evaluate those revenue and expenditure areas throughout the budget to try to sharpen our pencil, if you will.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Saul. Are there any comments or questions from the board? I'd just like to pause and just again thank the administrations for its continued and sustained efforts to continue looking at revenues and expenditures and trying to find what's going to be fair and also meet the needs of the district. And with that, we will move on to personnel. I'd just like to make an announcement that there was an addendum that was posted to the to board docs to the agenda that was already posted from Friday. So with that, I'd like to get a motion to approve the personnel items.
So moved. Second.
Are there any comments or questions from the board? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Excuse me, Mr. Falegi,
Aye.
Ms. Ford,
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Klotz,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Dr. Whitney,
Aye.
Ms. Bowman,
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Before we move on, I believe Dr. Campbell has some remarks.
I do. I want to first congratulate Mike Barker, who at the end of the school year will be retiring after 24 years of service at Lower Macungie Middle School as a 6th grade social studies teacher. He has a total of 29 years in education, again, clearly the majority of which have been as a dedicated team member in East Penn and at Lower Macungie Middle School. So congratulations to Mr. Barker. In addition, it gives me great pleasure, I'm going to say to welcome back Taylor Maddox as part of the personnel agenda just this evening. The board has now officially approved her as the supervisor of special education, specifically for our elementary programs. Taylor is really East Penn through and through in that she actually started with us in 2010 as an instructional assistant and then was in the process of getting her teaching certificate, worked with us for 13 years as a teacher in our autistic support program. And so while we were very excited when she was interested in moving into administration, we also, you can appreciate, we're very saddened because she was a real phenomenal teacher working with a very special population. And so while we will miss her as a classroom teacher, we feel so very fortunate that she wants to continue to be a part of our team. She served as the interim special education supervisor for this entire school year and has done a phenomenal job. And so when the position became permanently available, we were excited that she was a candidate for that position. And so at this point, Taylor is actually here this evening, and she's going to come up and just introduce herself to each of our board members. So congratulations to Taylor, and come on up.
Congratulations.
Okay, it's official.
Congratulations, thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
See, Elizabeth, that's a perk of staying for the meeting. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Ms. Maddox. Does that conclude your remarks?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, moving on to business operations. There are multiple items. I'd like to take it in three portions. If there are no objections, I'd like to get a motion on items A through E.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions from the board? I'd just like to make one recognition on item E for donations. Thank you to the Giant Company for their generous donation of $13,000, $13,695.34 through their Feeding School Kids initiative. There are no further comments.
I
Ms.
did
Bowman.
have a comment. Sorry, I thought we were doing A through B, and I made the motion, didn't even understand what motion I was making. I did just want to say, for the Giant donation, when I believe these donations, it tends to come every year, and it's, this money, it's my understanding that when you go to the grocery store and it asks you to round up your final bill, that's how these donations get made. And so when you see, when you're checking out from the grocery store and it asks you if you want to round up to support your public schools, or sometimes it's more specific, your public schools lunch program or whatever, if you round up, then you're a part of this donation that helps people. So I'm happy that they do this.
Okay. Thank you for highlighting that. Any further comments? Okay, Ms. Allen, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Ford,
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Klotz,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Dr. Whitney,
Aye.
Ms. Bowman,
Aye.
Mr. Falegi,
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. I'd now like to take items F through H together. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Mr. Jankowski,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Klotz,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Dr. Whitney,
Aye.
Ms. Bowman,
Aye.
Mr. Falegi,
Aye.
Ms. Ford,
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. And finally, item I. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions on this item? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Klotz,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Dr. Whitney,
Aye.
Ms. Bowman,
Aye.
Mr. Falegi,
Aye.
Ms. Ford,
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski,
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Okay, next item on the agenda is a legislative item. It's appointment of voting delegates for PSBA Delegate Assembly. Ahead of this meeting, I solicited volunteers from the board. I'm pleased to say that we had two people step up at this point, Mr. Kelly and Ms. Klotz. As it says here, as a second-class district, not literal second class, but this is our classification, we're entitled to appoint up to 3 board members for the delegate assembly. I think it's very important that we supply a full contingent. So I would very much like one of the remaining board members to join Ms. Kelly, or Mr. Kelly and Ms. Klotz.
I'll volunteer.
Okay, Ms. Ford. Anybody else? We're not going to fight over this? Okay, thank you very much. So I'd like to have a motion to approve Ms. Ford, Ms. Klotz, and Mr. Kelly.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Ms. Klotz,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Dr. Whitney,
Aye.
Ms. Bowman,
Aye.
Mr. Falegi,
Aye.
Ms. Ford,
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Again, thank you very much. It's an important aspect of our responsibility as board members to participate in this, and so I appreciate your willingness to either attend in person or attend virtually. Okay, next item is under curriculum, educational conferences. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Dr. Whitney,
Aye.
Ms. Bowman,
Aye.
Mr. Falegi,
Aye.
Ms. Ford,
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Klotz,
Aye.
Dr. Levinson.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Other educational entities. Mr. Smith, do you have a report for LCTI?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Levinson. The Joint Operating Committee of LCTI met on Wednesday, April 24th. During the monthly meeting, the LCTI administration highlighted a few areas of importance in their report. First, they highlighted Bill Childs, who is a LCTI instructor for the Level 1 Advertising and Design program. who is now an official published author. He recently published a book called Child's Play, which is about the power of using creativity as a force for change. They also highlighted the challenges they are facing with student enrollment, taking a deep dive into their processes to explore solutions. As you may recall, their enrollment is of the good problem variety. They have more students that are interested than they have seats available. It's a good problem to have, but one that doesn't have easy answers. Currently, cosmetology, criminal justice, and the health and medical programs are the largest drivers and in the highest demand. LCTI teachers are now working with a coach from an organization called Max Teaching in order to incorporate additional literacy strategies into their instruction, regardless of their curricular area. And on April 9th, the Morning Call reported that Amaya Kavachari, a student at Lehigh LCTI in North Whitehall, won a full tuition scholarship to Cedar Crest College. The announcement was made at LCTI, where Elizabeth Mead, president of Cedar Crest College, presented Kavachari with a certificate, flowers, and balloons. Kavachari is a student at Parkland High School and in the Future Educators program at LCTI. Mack Truck donated $10,000 to Pennsylvania DECA for the production of 8,000 lapel pins. The pin designer was Julia Jakowitz, a Northern Lehigh High School student in LCTI's Marketing and Entrepreneurship program. Students at the nationwide DECA conference trade these pins as they network with students from across the country. This year's design was of a red Mack Truck cab with the Mack Bulldog in the driver's seat. Finally, we reviewed the annual audit during the meeting, where we learned that LCTI continues to remain in good standing thanks to a Herculean effort by the business office, who has undergone quite a bit of change as of late. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Okay, thank you for your report, Mr. Smith. Under other items, we have a motion to approve Mr. Saul, our business administrator, as board treasurer. May I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, are there any comments or questions or deep reservations?
I was only going to say, I don't know what we'd do without Mr. Saul. Thank you for being our treasurer.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, with no questions, Ms. Allen, please call the roll.
Excuse me. Dr. Whitney?
Aye.
Ms. Bowman?
Aye.
Mr. Falegi?
Aye.
Ms. Ford?
Aye.
Mr. Jankowski?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Ms. Klotz?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Dr. Levinson?
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Moving on to announcements, we held an executive session this evening where we discussed matters of litigation and negotiations. An announcement, the district will be closed on Memorial Day, May 27th, 2024. Our next regular board meeting will be on Monday, June 10th at 7:30 p.m. in this room. And with no further business before us, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good evening, and see you in 4 weeks.
Oh, no.